Good morning. Welcome back to Linda's Pantry, only we're outside working on the future pantry items. And I want to just say, first off, before I start this update, we've been super busy. I haven't been able to put out any videos. Just crazy busy. I took on more work at work. I've got the litter of 9 puppies that are 6 weeks old tomorrow. So yeah, it's been crazy busy, and we're trying to get our yard in shape. We've done a few projects, and now we're on another big one. So, hence the delay. I do want to come over here to the rhubarb, first off, because I didn't know I would strike such passion in a lot of you, and I want to say thank you to everybody who's left comments trying to help fix the problem, trying to figure out what the problem really is as far as bugs go. Now, I did use the online remedy, and I bought an organic, non-toxic flea and tick shampoo, and I mixed a tablespoon of that with a tablespoon of ammonia with a gallon of water and lightly sprayed this. Now, some of the dried leaves that got sprayed, it was hot, and I think it just blistered them. But we don't eat the leaves, like all of you mentioned that were concerned about this. But I wanted to take care of the bug problem because I don't want them going to a different. But look how healthy the stalks are. Now, I'm picking on this today. And picking rhubarb, I've been asked several times to show how to do that. And I'll try to do that because you never want to cut it at the base where it's connected. You want to twist and pull, because if you cut that piece that's left still attached to the plant will rot, and then it causes problems with your plant. So a little bit of kale, I pick on that for the chickens. I've got my Swiss chard. Look how beautiful, and this is delicious just the way it is. These baby leaves, I just pick one off and add that to my snack for breakfast. And we have, look at these, little baby green beans. Oh, I'm so excited. So my plan of putting them in various spots actually is working. You know, this isn't a traditional spot, but they don't have a deep root system. So why not utilize containers for those of you that don't have a lot of space? You can grow bush beans in a small container. Those don't have a lot of dirt in them. Still picking cherry tomatoes off these little red robins. Now I've got a new spot for asparagus, so never fear. But I put some sweet onions in these pots, and I've got carrots coming up. And these carrots are doing good over here. The green beans really are just pretty much stunted. They're not doing anything. Let's visit this area first. Now, this tomato plant looks nice and healthy, and not one tomato on it. No flowers, nothing. Well, I do see some flower little buds starting to pop in here, so hopefully we'll get something. But I've got a little bit of kale back there hiding. Another red robin, and these are delicious little cherry tomatoes. I pick on them every morning. They're tart, acidic, but sweet. You have another planter here. One here. This is an experiment, so we'll see if my experiment works. I did plant onions in these as well. And it's kind of a succession garden because sometimes I like my onions a little bit smaller. The bigger onions are the first ones I put in. So, especially the sweet onions. So good. So here's a look at that. Now, tomatoes. This tomato plant's doing really good. This is a brandy wine. And this is an early girl. And there's actually one in here that's starting to turn. So we're going to get a ripe tomato off that little girl. And fantastic. I'm so glad I bought this plant because it's loaded. You can see how many tomatoes are on there. It's just loaded. And then we have the the eggplant. Nope, it's not an eggplant plant. It's a cayenne pepper. Purple cayenne peppers. If you guys have ever seen these, and these are really good peppers. In fact, I need to pick. I'm going to make some salsa today, so I'll put peppers, those peppers in there. They're spicy, but they're not extremely hot, just spicy. More beans along here, and hopefully we get a big harvest that I can. These were supposed to be pole beans, but it looks like they're bush beans, which is odd to me. These, the same thing over here. Before we get inside, I want to show you. Okay, so we have a cucumber plant here, and I'm going to let it just vine down and I'll direct it. Some more Swiss chard, delicious. Cucumber, and I got a couple little carrots in there. Now this cucumber I planted, sorry about this, I planted this one, and I left this one here in the back, and it's finally, this is the Bonnie plant back here, and it's starting to get little trendles on it, but it's taken just as much time to come to life as this took to actually grow. And up here, this is also a collard greens, so I thought it was radishes, but they fool you. It's collard greens. Here's the fertilizer that's going on the plants today. Around them, very easy, fast, super fast results on this. I absolutely love that fertilizer. Okay, ooh, I see a red tomato there. Let's get inside here and show you what's going on. It's pretty exciting in here. Now, I got a weed, but I have some volunteer dill. There's a volunteer green bean. Now I planted, because I had planted beets here, so I just went in and I planted onions, and these are yellow onions, I believe. The onions that are on this fence are red onions or purple onions. More dill over there, cucumbers, and we're going to utilize that dill with our cucumbers. Peppers, a little watermelon plant that probably won't amount to anything, but I felt sorry for it, so I brought it home. Tomato plants, and I believe these are Boxcar Willie, both of these. So a very dense foliage on this plant. I've got to inspect to see how many tomatoes are actually in there. These are Heinz tomatoes, and these are, you can see its aroma, but they get huge fruit on them for as small as the plant stays. And this is a determinate plant, so you don't have to get in here and prune it all if you don't want to. Let's go inspect the boxcars. See if we have anything in here. I've got flowers getting ready to flower here, but I don't see any tomatoes yet, no fruit yet, so hopefully we have enough time to get some fruit on there. And let's look at how these beans are doing. How are you guys doing in here? I hear bees a-buzzing. And that's the thing, when I was working on the rhubarb, I only treated it once. I didn't want to kill the bees. I just wanted to deter them to go do their job. That's if they were actually cutter bees, and I don't think they were. Okay, so this plant is getting pretty heavy, but no tomatoes yet. I got a little flowering going on over there, and oh my goodness, I can still taste that tomato. So now here we go, our first squash. Look at that. I'm so excited to have squash on the vine. And okay, so this is a question my daughter had, and somebody had told her if her plant had a male flower on it, they would all be male flowers and she wouldn't get any squash. And that isn't true. This right there, I don't know if you can see it, that flower has a stem behind it. That is a male flower. This one, that flower has fruit behind it. That's a female. So if you're gonna do like squash blossoms, if you want to make squash blossoms, which I am going to make this for you. I've never done it, and I'm going to do it this year. If you're going to do that, you want to pick the male flowers because those are the ones that aren't going to give you any fruit anyway. Let's see. These tomatoes. Look at that one. This is huge. And I believe that's a beefsteak. There's an early girl over here. There's a yellow lemon boy right next to it, and I've got one ready to pick. I picked one the other day, and they're delicious. Very good. I know there's a few of you out there that grow those. Okay. Peppers and squash. This is the volunteer squash. And here's zucchini, and this is the Romanesca. And it's just starting to flower. And again, that's a male flower, but I see a little zucchini in there. Right there. So, won't be long and we'll be bombarded with zucchini. And we're not sure what that volunteer squash plant is. Okay, so I thought I had bugs in here. Now you're going to love this. I thought I had something eating my squash plants because this particular one got eaten down to nothing right from the beginning. There's a leaf over on the little one that's gone. And this one, my experiment, look at the outer leaves. I mean, just ravaged. Well, I figured it out. It was Ragnar. I had this plant outside the garden, and he just would go over and start munching on it. So we've taken care of that problem. It's doing excellent. And look at the peas in here, and they're starting to vine and do their thing. And this is going to be a very fun experiment. Can you grow a zucchini in this small of a container? I think you can, because this is getting ready to flower. So, there you go. I did have to pull a tomato plant. It was little, and it started getting the blight, and you can't stop that blight. It's terrible, and I just didn't want it to spread any further, and I just pulled the plant, sacrificed it. So this beefsteak's about 4 feet. We don't, because our growing season isn't as long. We don't grow them huge like this very often. Let's pick this lemon boy. Look at that. Beautiful lemon boy tomato. I might have to have that with breakfast. Maybe I'll make eggs Benedict and we'll put fresh sliced organic tomatoes on there. Oh, yum. Okay. It's a deal. This is an early girl here. These early girls are doing really good. This one and that one over there. And the one I bought later on. So all of these are doing excellent. Hopefully I get enough to can. Lots of volunteer dill. Oh, and I wanted to show you, where is it? I have a little volunteer tomato right there. And I have one over here that's doing pretty good. Got some more onions. And this is the bush variety of early girl, and it's loaded with tomatoes. So the early girls do really well here. And I believe that's a beefsteak. So, all right, let's get to the other garden and see what's going on. And the nice thing about utilizing spaces, because these squash plants are going to get big, but these onions they're a root crop, so they do just fine. They don't need as much sunlight as the other, if they get a little shaded, they still grow. So let's go to the other spots here in the garden. Put my tomato down. Okay, I showed you that barrel. This one, now I did come in here, even though this is a determinate tomato plant, it really was shading everything too much, and it was so thick in here, I couldn't see if it had any fruit on it if I wanted to. So it is getting ready to flower, and it also added some sunlight and some air in there by pruning that a little bit. Tomato plants don't mind if you prune them back, honestly. They actually thrive from it. So these flowers are pretty tiny. It looks like it's going to be a small tomato plant, small tomato. And over here, we've got the bush beans, and again, Ragnar and Shotzi, I believe, got in on playing havoc over here. But it's flowering now. We've got flowers And little baby green beans. Oh my gosh, I just think they're so cute. Look at that. I can't wait. Oh, okay. And then I'm going to slowly bring you this way because I have a surprise. The herb buckets. And then let's look at this rhubarb. Now, again, this leaf got scorched, but the stalk itself is plenty healthy. I mean, it's a nice big heavy stalk. Look at those beauties in there. I mean, this thing has just gone, yes. So I fertilized that really well with that fertilizer, and it just came to life. So beans are not doing as good as they usually do, and these are Heinz variety tomato plants. I've got parsley now going to seed, and I'm going to go ahead and cut those down today, down to the ground, and hopefully they'll pop back. But so here's my pole beans, and some of them are vining up, but so far we're not flowering
doing their
yet.
thing here.
Some radishes in this here, Swiss chard, radishes. Oh, and I've got a couple pea plants if they want to take off, and pole beans in both of those end baskets. And see, here's another view of that beautiful rhubarb plant. This one's going to get picked on today too. These stalks are huge. Love it. And we've got fresh parsley to pick. This is another boxcar willy, but it does not like this spot. It's kind of dwarfed. It does have little flower buds coming, but it doesn't look happy in here. So, note to self. Carrots are doing fine. And, okay, so this is a project we've been busy with, and we started this. I'm so excited. Okay, you guys know I've got this apple tree, and the kennels are right there. And then we've got the other apple tree and the pear tree. We're putting in a raised bed right there. Isn't it beautiful? I love it. We had to go around the landscape we already had, and I just absolutely love it. Now these blocks are repurposed from a remodel that my husband's company is doing, that he's overseeing, and they said take as many as you want, which saved us a huge amount of money. These are very expensive to buy, and it ties in with the brick or the block work we already have. It looks fine. I love it. So we're going to fill this with topsoil and lots of organic matter, and I'm going to put a fall crop in that, and some bulbs. I'll plant some garlic in here for next year, and then next year, you know, I can play around with it, and we'll have that much more garden space. And this is big. It's, well, here's my pear tree. Look at, I've got pears. I have a pear here, and I just love when fruit trees first fruit, they get one or two, you know, that's the way the apple trees are. But back to the bed, we've got, oh, I think he said it's 6 feet wide, I believe. So, and I've still got a walkway here for when I need to get around the bed. And I'm so excited. Now, I know a lot of you are going to ask, how are you going to kill the grass or keep the grass from growing back up inside the planter? And it's really pretty simple. You can do it very organically, and that is to layer the bottom here with newspaper. And I'm going to do that. You want about 6 layers of paper, and then you put your topsoil on top of that. So that will snuff out the grass, and that's what we did for this raised bed, and it worked perfectly. So, but the fun part is we tied them down on our trailer with these pallets, and we're going to repurpose those too. We're kicking back and forth a couple different ideas, and one of which is to do some vertical gardening back here on this fence, since that plant from the neighbors is down off of it for next year. I mean, it won't be this year. Or to build a table for the big green egg. And I've got to get working on these compost bins, get them back running. And I'm going to show you how many blocks we have left. We have blocks here, and these are the top blocks. I think we're missing 4. Oh my gosh. These are all the bottom blocks. I think he said we are missing 4 to make another raised bed the size of this end here. Won't that be fantastic? So my garden space is almost doubling by next year. So every year, if you do something small, it changes things. So let's go feed the chickens and say hi to them. So we haven't figured out where we're going to put that particular bed. The other thing, we have a lot of these blocks around here. And I am going to build one up because I have a grapevine out front that needs to move. It needs to go somewhere else, and it can vine up over this fence. It's vined up over my porch, but it's in a pot, so it needs to be transplanted. And my thought process is to dig out a spot here, make a nice single planter with some of these blocks, and fill it with good soil and transplant it here. And then the roots can go down and do whatever roots do. And I'll do that when it goes into hibernation this fall, when it dies back. Hi, girlies. You're going to get some straw. Hi. Oh, goodness. Good morning. Hi, girls. Missy Laws. And having that faucet right here to fill their water and take care of things is so nice. Okay, you got a messy tub. But what happened? Okay, let's give you some. Okay, I've got this is organic layers pellet, and I like the pellets because it there's not as much waste with it. And you'll see that dust, that's diatomaceous earth, and that keeps the birds very healthy. And as you can see, they're ready for breakfast. Now, if we were to go away for a weekend, or I had somebody else coming to take care of them, I would fill their 11-pound feeder. But I don't like to feed too many critters all at once. And they do have friends over when you do that. So a scoop of scratch, and they'll go right after that and get busy. I might let them free range a little bit today. No eggs yet. So, and my tip, if you have a coop like this that has nesting boxes, because they come in here and sleep at night too, just clean it out daily. You know, if they mess in there at night, clean it out. And all this here is organic goodness. I mean, you've got your to put into the compost bin. You've got your manure right along with your shavings and straw, and I'm going to give them the bale of straw that's out here to break up. It's already broke down pretty good. They won't get many seeds out of it, but let's go over to this garden, and that's the bale. I'm going to give them that bale. It's all broke down. And I used the other bale that I had in here to mulch and retain water. So look at those raspberry bushes. And you can just hear the bees buzzing. I don't know if it's picking up on camera, but they are working hard. So raspberries will bring you a lot of bees, which is great because they pollinate them. They pollinate other things in your garden. So got some raspberries right in there I need to pick. Pick a handful every couple of days. And these on this side are doing good. And last night I saw some of the garlic had kind of gotten brown, and I dug some up. It's little tiny bulbs, but man, are they delicious. Very pungent. More berries in there hiding out I gotta get. And those, to give you some perspective, those raspberry plants are taller than I am down there and about as tall as I am right here. So about 5 feet tall. And this is an ever-bearing raspberry. I want to say it's the Heritage, but I'm not positive. And then these berries in here, they don't have any thorns on it. Well, they do. They do have thorns, but they just have different flowers on them. So I'm anxious because I don't remember what kind of berries or what, variety of raspberries those are. And I gotta get in here. I see a couple of nettles. So the blackberries are taking off. I mean, they've come. I had to weave it in the fence here. We've got one going out there. They're really traveling. Not much production yet, but they're well on their way to being productive in the near future, I'm sure, or next year. I'm not worried about it. So I've got some more raspberries to get in and pick, and I water this with a soaker hose and that I wove in here last year. And then I've got one by itself for that side to do. So it's kind of a berry jungle. Very, very fun. I love it. And so we're just letting these guys ramble. I'm going to keep the center pretty clear, so I'll pop up some of those suckers and move them where I want. We eventually would like to have all along this rock here and lining the lawn be raspberries, but we haven't decided how much lawn we're taking out yet. And oh yeah, there's a bunch of berries in here. So that's my garden update, and guys, I'm so excited about my raised bed, and it really looks nice. It's functional. It's gonna provide my husband and myself a huge amount of food, which keeps us less reliant on the grocery store and more reliant on ourselves, and keep growing and learning how to do better gardening. So if this inspires you, I hope you stay tuned to the next video. Bear with me if I'm not putting out quite as many lately, but I will be. Trust me, all this food will go in the pantry somehow, either canning or we'll be using it in our meals. So that being said, I can't wait to see you next time for another delicious recipe and or puppy update or garden update. Oh my goodness, it's been fun. Bye.